Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is Matthew and welcome back to the channel. This is episode 2 of my behind the scenes documentary, my behind the scenes mini-series that I'm currently working on. You've just seen my origins. You've just seen episode 1, which is my origins video. And basically like what made me want to start YouTube versus where I am now. And in this episode, I'm going to go through the equipment that I used to use and the equipment that I currently use. And that includes setting them up and things. So, real quickly, I'm going to just say, before I get any further into the video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button with notifications turned on, so you don't miss out on any other content like this. Be sure to like and comment the video on the video if you want as well. And without any further ado, let's get into this. So, filming. What I used to do on my first few channels, and even as of on this channel as well, before I got before I started realizing and thinking ahead in that, what I used to do is I used to film exactly like how I'm filming these behind the scenes videos right now. I used to film and record things all on my phone. I never had a camera in my life back then. I never had any sort of camera. Photos, forget it. I couldn't even take any photos really. Even the photos I take now are they're not that great. Sure, they're decent for a beginner, but they're nowhere near professional quality. So I used to film on my phone. I used to film everything, and because back then YouTube would only let me upload videos that are only 15 minutes long, therefore I had to go and stop filming and start another part. So therefore the video would, depending on what the video is, it would end up having to be in multiple parts, which made it very, very annoying, very, very irritating. Even in terms of editing and uploading, I used to just I never did any editing. I didn't know how to edit back then. Versus now, obviously, I know how to edit, and you'll see that later. But I used to just upload the videos completely raw, just no editing, no cuts, no nothing. And obviously, all that's now changed. So it was back, I think 2021, I think, was when I got my first proper camera. I've still got it down here, although I don't really use it anymore, because I've got a much better, much more superior camera. So I went from filming on my phone to filming on this. Just a cheap wee eBay camcorder. I'm not even sure what kind of camcorder it is. FHDI or something. I don't know. It's a very cheap eBay camera, and I don't use it anymore because its battery is its batteries they're not too bad, but compared to my current camera that I use, it's night and day, and the audio quality on this camera is pathetic. So just think this, guys. If you think what we're about to see is crazy, just come to think of yourself. What was this place like during the max power days? So allow me to just put my camera phone on my steering wheel now. I'll show you that later in another video. But obviously the batteries, I don't think there's a battery in it. Aye, there is, aye, it's just dubbed. So, like, that's the battery. That's the battery for it there. And, like, in the cold, swapping batteries, it was a nightmare. Like, I can't even remember how long these lasted, but they don't even last as long as my current camera does. Like, I think I got, I can't remember how many of these batteries I got for this thing, but I did get quite a few. And the audio quality, like, I'm gonna see if I can try and find an old video of mine when I was using this camera, and I'll show you just how appalling that audio kind of was, really. And of course, I got like the SD card slot right in there, which SD cards I used, like, they were kind of tiny, so it wasn't anything that big or anything. Like, oh, hello. I did actually quite like using this camera. It was all right, but it was good for starter camera anyway. Let's see, power. Nah, completely dead. But you go back here, like, even your ports. So, like, we've got a USB, HD, and microphone port back here. Obviously, the USB would be the charging port. Because, like, unlike with this camera, unlike my current camera, I could just pop the batteries in the camera and just plug the cable into the camera. And, oh, a bit. As I'm just recording, I don't know where that bit went, but the end just came off of the camera. Look, I don't know if that was even on camera. But yeah, like, this, it was an alright camera. It was really cool and fun to use, really, and it was good for. It was good to start with. So, like, if you're just beginning YouTube and, like, you want, like, a budget camera or something, then I'd recommend getting something kind of like this. Like, it was decent for me at the time. So, obviously now it's rubbish. And I did have a few microphones for it. My first one was this one. I don't even know what microphone it is. I don't know microphones, to be honest. But just simply clip it on the top, slide the thing down, locks it in, and then just cable into the microphone slot, flick these switches up and on, and there we go. Microphone is on. And it's even got its own recharging port round here. I don't know if it was, like, maybe this microphone that was causing the audio, like, issues. I don't know. I think it was like a cheap microphone as well, so that could be the cause of it. And I did get a new microphone as well. I haven't really had to test it, really, because by the time I got this, I ended up getting my other camera, which I'll show you in a second, the one that I use right now. And I'll get more into that issue in a second, but this was the new microphone I was gonna replace that one with. I think a Movo microphone or something. I don't know. But it does have what's referred to as a dead cat on it, which is basically like a pop filter, really. Like, it's meant to, like, protect, like, the microphone itself from, like, any water damage or anything. So, like, don't know if I can take it off. I don't think I can on this, but on this one, like this is a pop microphone, and that's just a dead cat. You see, like, it looks like just some cat's fur. Like, you can see it just peel this off. Like, look, like, that's the microphone itself, and this is just some random filter. But like, It's installs just the same way as the first microphone did, so I'm not going to bother demonstrating how it goes on, but I was going to put this on my current camera, which I'm just going to get just right now. Just bear with me. And this is the current camera I use. Yes, quite a big upgrade, I know. A big Canon 1100D DSLR. It's a much better camera. Audio quality on this, superb. Much better. SD card slots just at the bottom here. So as you can see here, just eject the SD card. There we go. There's the SD card for you. Just a normal Amazon Basics SD card. I think 120 gigabyte. I think. And the batteries, like I've got quite a few batteries. So like, if I just pan the camera down to show you down here, I got like a wee tub. In here, that's all my batteries. So like that, like these two blue batteries, like those are the batteries for my monitor, which I'm going to show you in a second. But these are the batteries that I use for my Canon, and they're much better, much better than the batteries for this thing. The last, like, I've had to go and get new ones, because the first batch that I got, they didn't last very long. And even in terms of charging, like, they charged pretty quickly. So there might have been something up with the charging on them. And I've got 7 of those batteries. And so far, like, with that batch done there, I've not had to use any of the 7. I've only had to use maybe 1 or 2, maybe at least 3 at the very minimum, at the very maximum, sorry. But so far I've not had to use all of them yet, which, I mean, fingers crossed that I shouldn't need all 7 of them, but I've got 7 just in case. So, and in terms of charging as well, unlike my camcorder that I used to have, this Canon doesn't have like a port that like for charging. You have to take the batteries out and actually charge them on an actual charging dock. So like, I've got a few charging docks here actually. So I've got 2 charging docks right here, and I've got another one that just sits down here that plugs into my Xbox Power Fridge. That actually doesn't even really work anymore, to be honest. It's a shame, because I really love this Power Fridge. I love it, but it doesn't work. So now I just use it as just a battery charging station now. And of course I've got 7 of these batteries, and I can charge up to 4 of them at once here. So here, like, say I just grab this one, and if it'll work, it's not even plugged in. It's not even, hang on. Now, so now you can see there that is it now charging. Can't really get a good look at it there, but I promise you it is there and it is charging. Whereas the other 2 just slot in, boom, and there we go, that's it charging now. Obviously it looks kind of green now, but trust me, it is orange and it goes green when it's obviously fully charged, obviously. And charging those batteries like that can take up to a few minutes. Like, I had just 2 of those charging docks. I had the one where you can charge 2 of them at a time. I only had one where you could charge 1 at a time. And that just takes far too long. So I got another charging dock, so therefore I can charge 4 at the same time. And they get charged up a hell of a lot quicker now. Also for my monitor batteries, which I'll show you the monitor in a second. is actually right down here, so give me 2 seconds. So I come down here, it's a bit messy down here, I know. I'll get it tidied up. Where's my charging dock? There's my computer, by the way, which I don't necessarily use a lot, so... Oh, no, here it is, right here. It's right here. So, basically, just slot these in. So it's like wee slots in that down here, and like you have to just get it in, and there we go. And that's that charging. And they because they're bigger than my Canon's batteries, means that it takes longer for them to charge up. And thankfully, I've only needed to use one of them so far. Although, to tell you the truth, at the Scottish Performance Show, I ended up having to use 2 of them, because somehow my monitor just completely died out. I don't know how or why. But also during that video when the cars were leaving, as I'm sure you'd heard, my camera's microphone actually ended up dying because of the heavy downpour that happened there. And I've got some equipment in the drawer, in the cupboard back there behind me. But like I've got like a rain cover, but I don't know how that's gonna necessarily work because that can affect microphone quality. And like this Canon camera, let me just get seated back on my seat again, hang on. This Canon camera, like I explained that I didn't get the chance to test this microphone out and see what this was like, because, well, there's a problem. Because if we were to peel this panel back here, we would see that there is a USB slot, an HDMI slot, and it looks like some kind of jack in there. You'd think that would be like a microphone jack. Nah. Unfortunately, as it turns out, the Canon 1100D can't store an actual microphone. So it doesn't fit. Unfortunately, that's because it's got its own built-in camera. It's got its own built-in microphone, which is why sometimes when I'm holding the camera here, like it's got 2 microphones. It's got one at the back here, and it's got one at the front here. And which is also why sometimes in the videos you can hear like sort of microphone muffling sound. That's because like I'm accidentally placing my thumbs over the microphone without realizing. So that's a bit of a pain, but this is what, tell you what, this is what this camera would look like with a microphone attached onto it, onto the top of it. There you go. But yeah, the lens, I'm not too, it's 18 to 55mm lens. So let me just take the lens off. There you go. If you ever wanted to see what it looks like inside the camera, poof, there you go. And of course, other side of the lens. There. Sometimes I accidentally I end up like having the lens zoomed in too much or like out of focus, and it is quite annoying, to say the least. Obviously the switch here, that's for like autofocus and manual focus, which manual focus would probably be better for photos. Not sure how that kind of works for videos, but there we go, that's the lens clipped back in. So let me show you what it looks like when I turn the camera on. So here we go. And there we go. It's now looking at me, so there we go. Let's zoom in, zoom out. There we go. You can't quite see the focus there, but let me. Yeah, there we go. That's that sorted, I think. Yeah, there we go. That's it now, properly in focus, I think. So, if we were to switch the thing around on the top, we can get all the photograph options. So, like, I use AV. I used to use manual, but the problem is that there's too much sun exposure. If you were to see some of my earlier photos on Instagram, you can definitely see what I'm on about. There's way too much sun exposure on the AV setting. AV, I think that is aperture aperture priority or something. I don't know. But that kind of gives it like a bit of a bluish tint. So that's all the settings that come up on it. And of course the wee scope here. Unfortunately, I did end up losing the wee nose section to kind of protect, like, well, it's not really your nose, but it's more like your eyes and such. So yeah, it's not really the best. But that's kind of all there is to it. Like the record button and obviously all that sort of stuff. Menu. Let's take a look at the menu. So like, there we go. That's the menu option, and like what I go and do is I normally format the SD card every single time before I start filming. Before I like leave the house to go to the filming location to start the shoot. So what I do is I just scroll through until we get to this menu here, and where it says format, click format, and then we can see there, yes, and I hit OK. I'm not going to hit OK just yet because I've still got photos and videos in here that I've got to edit and upload, which you'll see later on in the edit, later on in the series. But by the time this video comes out, you would have already seen that video. So let me just go and cancel. Just to give you a sneak peek on how much stuff I've got. I'm just going to this menu here, into the slideshow menu, and there you go. That gives you like a rough idea on like the stuff that's there. All images, movies. I've got 29 images, so 29 photos, and I think that 52 clips. 52 clips that need to be edited and uploaded into a video. How long that video is going to be, I have no idea. But I'll explain that later in the edit and uploading video. But when let me tell you something. When I was finished filming the cars leaving the Scottish Festival of Motoring, not only like was my microphone kind of packed in, but I noticed that like as I was going to hit the on-off button, right, as I was going to flick the on-off switch, right, listen to this. You hear that click? When I flicked that switch off, that click never happened and the screen stayed on. I don't know what issue that is. Maybe that's just like the water just kind of like the rain just kind of glitching the camera out, but it seems fine right now. But when I was at Crail, I did discover some kind of hiccups, or some kind of camera malfunctions. So that's all there is to it, really. So that's what happens before I go and start filming. So I go and get all the batteries out, get them all charged up, empty the SD card out, and there, ready to rock and roll. So now what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to show you my other equipment that I've got. My camera crane is sitting in the other room there, so I'm going to show you what that's like. Now, real quickly, just before I go through and see to the camera crane, first, there's some equipment that I've got in the cupboard here, which, there's one piece of equipment I've got that I did use once, I was gonna use, but it kind of failed it kind of failed miserably, so let me go and get it out and show you. So, what I have here is all my equipment that's is used by Newer, and what this is a set of tripod wheels. I was going to use it at the Scottish Festival of Motoring. I think it was either last year or 2 years ago. I think. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. I was going to use it 2 years ago. Because, as you'll see later in the next video, where I'm gonna go out and show you the filming locations. At Ingliston, as soon as I leave the show, I come out and go up next to the Royal Highland Centre, where the old entrance was for Cleanfest, when that used to be a thing. I used to go and park there. And then I had to make my way down to the exit to capture the cars leaving. However, my camera crane, to transport my camera crane, that is a nightmare. And you'll see, like, I've got a suitcase for a reason for it. And I was going to use those tripod wheels to, like, kind of mount everything onto it and wheel it down the road to get to the exit. But that failed miserably, as you're going to see some of the hiccups I have with this thing. So I'm going to bring this through and show you as well. So just bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm here in the other room, which is where I'm going to showcase my camera crane. But first, let me show you these tripod wheels first. I haven't brought them out ever since I first tried to use them, and it failed miserably. So here they are. This was what I tried to use on that one day to try and get my camera crane here from essentially my car from where the entrance to the Royal Highland Centre is, all the way to the exit for where the show cars were leaving. So it's just a simple matter of setting up, just untangle and just unstrap and get everything all situated here. That's kind of already, the base is already down there. I just needed to extend these legs out. And there we go. And the tripod would, see if I can get a good shot of this here. The tripod would sit right in here, so I'd have to open this as wide as I can, and then put the tripod leg in, and then just simply clamp it up. And the idea was so that I can have this on the floor and just simply push and wheel everything along. And I tried it in here in the house, and it worked fine here on like carpet and laminate, but on tarmac it was a disaster, as you're going to see in a second. So that ended up failing miserably, and I never ended up using that, and I've never used it since. So just clamps it back up. There we go. Just pull these tabs here. If you ever find on getting this eventually, just pull this tab. And there we go. Now I just need to strap it back up, and I just pull it back in the bag. Right, so that was plan 1 on transporting the camera crane, which failed miserably. However, sometimes my genius is almost frightening, as someone would say, because I ended up with a suitcase. It is a bit odd transporting a suitcase everywhere, And I know people will be like, well, what's with the suitcase? Well, it's easy to see why. Because in here is all of my camera crane. Don't worry about all those Teds. Obviously, those are not mine. Those are my sister's. But just open up. And voila. All of that has to be transported from the car to the set. Which, that is a really big ordeal. It's such a faff that I needed 2 people to be there with me just to transport it, and it couldn't deal with that. Like that's something that I just can't do. And even like with addition of my monitor and things like that, that's just too much. That's just far too much. So the camera crane, setting it up and getting it all built. So it's tripod first. This wasn't the first tripod I had. I had another tripod that I kind of custom made so that I can get my other camera, my camcorder on it. And I got this mainly for Creo, because when I first went to Creo, I'll pop that video up right now. I found that I couldn't get the shots that I needed to get all the way down the track, to see all the way down the strip. And even if I were to like raise my tripod up, like even like tripod fully raised, that still isn't enough. And of course, if I had to lift the tripod up myself, obviously that's just not practical. It's a bit shaky. So that's when I came up with the idea to have something like this, a bigger tripod and a camera crane, mainly for Creo. But if I was going to have it for Creo, I was thinking, wait, since I really go up to Creo once every year, because of the distance from Stirling to Creo, why just have the camera crane just for Creo when I could use it for many other videos? And that's where the idea of filming the cars leaving the car shows came from. Like obviously inspired from Adam C's videos, but also like I could just stand and like I could just like what I did for this year's Bridge of Ireland Classic Car Show and just stand here holding the camera like this. I could do that like what Adam C and everyone else does, but I decided to use my camera crane, which actually turns out to be a bit of a better idea and has grown some interest on the channel, as I'm sure you've seen, like some drivers like maybe waving at me, maybe tooting at me or something like that. So it has grabbed quite a lot of attention, and hopefully it should make me big at some point. So setting up this tripod, I'm just going to need to tilt the head back, like so. And now there's this clip down here, just unclip that, and then the whole thing extends out, like such. Right, so that would be the tripod at its lowest height. So obviously what annoys me most with these tripods is these ball things. What I mean by ball things, hang on, for context. That's the tripod at its lowest height. None of the legs are even extended. But this ball here, like this is what gets me. Like you can see it's tilted, and like you see on camera sometimes, the camera seems to be tilted. And sometimes the ball just likes to move on its own, and like even though I've got it completely locked up, so it shouldn't be moving, but sometimes it does, which irritates me. So what I do is I just try and, well, you obviously see there's a wee level gauge there, so I need to try and get that ball, that wee bubble, as centre as possible, which right now it isn't. I'll deal with that in a second, but first I'm going to need to extend the tripod legs. So, tab out, extend, another tab out here. Well, first I'll show you what it looks like at this height. Down. And at this height, I've noticed that like you can't even really tell that it's on a camera crane because the height is just too human. So like, this is the new height. There we go, that's the new height of the tripod there. That's it. So now, I'm extend the tripod to its maximum height, which I've seen is better in my opinion. Gives you a better idea on how high the thing is. Gives you a better sense of scale that like it's actually on a camera crane and not just a super tall human being. Extend and extend. Right, so that is now the tripod at its maximum height. That is now the tripod at its maximum height now. And as you can see, it's quite a difference. Nearly half built already. So next is the jib. I need to open the window light on. Right. There's quite a lot. The jib. That's this big piece. Now, I've had troubles with this wee plate here. It doesn't seem to like to stay still. So I need to try and tighten it up. Normally I'd use like a flathead screwdriver or something. See if I've got something in here for it. I don't think I've got anything in here for it. No matter. We'll just put it on regardless. Although I'd like to tighten that up. And that's it tightened up now. I'm going all tightened up. It's just a simple slide-in method. So it's all as I think it's going in this way. It's kind of difficult doing this with one hand, but it's essentially going in this way, sliding forward, and then just use that knob there. Let's see, using this knob here to tighten it up, and obviously to bring it out I need to press this button in to slide it back out. So let me just go and do that real quick. Maybe go and turn the camera like so. And now I'm gonna go for the weights. So it's just as simple, just slide in at the top and just essentially using this to just tighten it up. So in at the top. You'll see already just how high this goes. Obviously it's not fully extended or nothing. There we go. Right, I need to be careful here, because when I was at Knock Hill, filming the Colin McRae rally, setting this up, the crane actually ended up tilting forward. Don't want to do that. So next is get the camera on. And that's where this piece comes into play. So, I just need to get the camera onto this wee nub here. And that's done with just screwing it onto this wee screw hole here. So I like to have the camera on backwards here, so as it faces the front. And try and keep that nub in place whilst I'm screwing it on. Just like that. And then it's essentially just sliding the camera in through that. And I think using that, where is it? That wee knob there to tighten it up. So we're going to do that. There we go, that's that on. It's not going anywhere anyway. So now I just need to extend it out with these wee kind of fasteners here to fully extend out with those fasteners there, as you can see there. So time to fully extend it. There we go. Let's test that. Of course, you need to get it just right. There's a lot of fiddling to be done with this. Let's go and tighten it back up. Because I think that's it. There's a lot of fiddling that needs to be done. A lot of fiddling, a lot of tuning. Try that. Goes down. I think it needs to be tilted back just ever so slightly. I think that's it. Tighten that back up now. Let's try that. Up. Obviously you can't see. There we go. And down. Brilliant. So now it's the monitor, which there's a few steps that I like to do with it. First, there's a wee winding piece that goes on the weights. No matter. I have this light here, which I don't use it, and it's quite a dull light, to be honest. Like on camera, yes, it looks quite bright, but and in a building, it's quite bright. But when you're filming outside, it's not that bright, to be honest. So I just use this to host my monitor up. So I just go and just screw it into the side of the crane here, so we can see that this wee hole here, and I just go and screw it in. There we go. Now it's for the monitor, which I just screw in on top of the light. So I've got this adapter here that attaches on the bottom of this monitor. It's it does need a bit of a wipe down, but it's a newer 7-inch field monitor. And this, of course, is a newer, I think 70mm crane or something. I'll put it in captions in the edit. So just slide this on the top of the on top of the light there. There we go. Now the HDMI cable, which slots in this wee bit here, and it goes all the way down to the port on the camera there. So I think it's this end into the monitor first. It's I think it's a 2-meter long extension cable. So obviously it's a meter and another meter connected together, so it's long enough. And now this end goes into the camera. flick that open. And into the to the HDMI port at the bottom of the camera, which for some reason it's fighting me. There we go. And last but not least, the battery, which just slots into the back here, like so. And there we go. That's it all set up and ready to rock and roll. So now, voila. That's it all completely built. And isn't it an impressive piece of kit? Like, this monitor, it takes a while for it to turn on, so I'm gonna go and just turn it on right now. Button. Whilst that's turning on, we'll turn the camera on. There's no feed on the camera because that's now transitioned onto the monitor. Going grasp, lift. Obviously that's not at its maximum height because the ceiling is limiting on how high the camera can go. So like here you can hear it kind of hitting the top of the ceiling there. But it can go higher, as you've seen in some videos. And yeah, that is certainly something, isn't it? Oh, there we go, just hit that door. In fact, let's see if can I shut it with the... Yes. So there we go. That's essentially a quick rundown of all my equipment from what I used to use up until what I currently use. And is it an impressive piece of kit? So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Be sure to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you thought of it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. Stay tuned for part 3, which is where I'm going to be going out and showing you the filming locations of where I like to go. So see you next time then. See you until then. See you next time. Peace.